Well, folks, this is Monday evening. It's taken me most of the day to try to figure out what direction I'm going, and been seeking the Lord and asking for prayer from different ones. And I told somebody today, it's easy to make a decision. It's really hard to make the right one, and the one that God would have us to make. And sometimes you got to search and search and search to make sure that you're not just doing what is easy and what you want to do and what's easy, like I said, what's comfortable and easy to do, but the thing that's right to do. And so we're going to talk about that. Before we do, I've been talking about Psalm 23, 23rd Psalm, as it's known as. And so it says, the Lord is my shepherd. And we've been talking about that and how important it is that the Lord, Almighty God, is my shepherd. I mean, He's the one that provides for me. He's the one that protects me. He's the one that leads me. And so that's incredible. And then from that, it says, I shall not want. Well, of course I wouldn't want. I wouldn't lack anything if the Lord is my shepherd. I mean, the Lord, He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. He owns everything. He created everything. He holds everything together. So how could I want anything? How could I lack anything? Amazing truth there. And then it says, He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Now, that's where we are today. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. I've heard some say, oh, God doesn't make it. That's not translated right. God doesn't make. No, God maketh you to lie down in green pastures. Now, two main reasons that He makes you to lie down in green pastures. One is if if the sheep is ill, if the sheep is infested with some sort of, insects or something, the feet may be going bad or something. And so the shepherd, out of the care for the sheep, will make him lie down because he needs to be helped. He needs to be treated. And so sometimes God he'll make us lie down because He's got some things that need to be cleaned up about us. He's got some things that He wants us to focus on and concentrate on. It could be that God right now is really trying to get us to refocus. It could be that God's maybe He's trying to heal some families, heal some marriages, some individuals. American society just is constantly running, busy, consumed with technology, consumed with projects, consumed with hobbies and careers and education and relationships, and we're just so just run, consumed. Maybe right now God is just saying, lay down. You've got a lot of issues going on. You've got a lot of emotional and psychological and spiritual issues going on. And so you need to just lay down and let me work on you for a while. And so maybe God's doing that. Maybe He's doing that in your life. Maybe He's doing it in my life. It sure wouldn't hurt for some families to get together and talk to each other for a little while and to spend a little bit of time together. I think it's so wonderful right now. One of my daughters and son-in-law, I mean, they've gone out there and they're creating a garden, and those 5 boys are they're breaking up the land with hoes and shovels and things, and they've got a pretty good piece of property already done right now. And so they're learning how to plant. They got them some chickens, and they got them, and so they're learning. And, if things hadn't really come to this point and slowed down, maybe they wouldn't do that. And so I think it's something wonderful. And I think it's something good every once in a while when God just says, you know what, children, school might be important, but it's not as important as learning to have a relationship with your family. And, so much emphasis is put on the God of education in America, but the fact is that the greatest education is how to love God and how to love one another. And so maybe God's just trying to get us to refocus. But also, the fact is that there's a second reason you lie down, and the sheep will lay down only really when they're secure, when they know they've got food, when they know they're protected, when they know the shepherd's there. And so He'll fence them in when it's time for them to rest, and they'll lay down for rest, but they'll only lay down if secure. And so here's what God's wanting us right now. He's wanting us to realize, okay, don't fret, don't be upset, don't be nervous. I'm in control. I'm in control. So I'm going to lay you all down right now for a while. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay you down, and you need to just take time, take a deep breath, and realize you're able to lay down because I got this thing. I got it under control. I got, it's in God's hands. And so we're just like this sheep. We can go ahead and lay down. We got food there right in front of us, and we're fenced in by the shepherd, and we're protected by him. I mean, any enemy comes along, he's the one that's coming after him, and so he just wants us to see him. And so this, they say the sheep, the moment the shepherd, even in the dark, maybe a sound or a dog or a wolf or something has come, and they get incredibly frightened real easy, and they want to run real well. The moment they see the shepherd, they calm down. You know what it tells me is that a lot of times we get uptight and upset and nervous and afraid. We don't have our eyes at the right place. We need to get our eyes on the shepherd. And so that's kind of just our lesson where we're going to today. And I'm trying to do one of these every day for us while we're in this time period. But so now I'm going to give you a little bit of update. We've had some changes go on. We had the governor of Tennessee that is enacted an executive order 17, and that executive order 17 basically says, it goes from being a request to a command is really what it comes down to, that we don't gather more than 10 people. And there's a lot of other things to that, but when it comes to us, that's what's the real issue. And now that didn't change things that much for us because we were already separating and organizing and, bringing people in, and the word is dividing them, but that implies that we come together and then divide. But in reality, they were coming in separately, and they were being directed to a room with 10 people, and then they were leaving separately. So we're doing our best to honor God, honor man, and be in favor with God and man. Then, but also yesterday, it's going to be enacted, I think tomorrow, maybe it was today, and then tomorrow at 6 o'clock, I believe, it goes into effect, and that's a safe at home order by the mayor of Memphis, which means the people who reside in Memphis are not supposed to go really anywhere unless it's an essential thing. They're not even supposed to go to work unless they work in one of these essential businesses. And so that kind of changes things a little bit. Now, one thing, of course, our church is in Memphis, but we don't have that many families that live actually in the Memphis area proper. And this order directly affects the people who live in Memphis. And so that's a little bit of an issue. That's a little bit of a situation there for us because they're saying, and they're still saying, don't gather more than 10 people. It doesn't really say where because it says that in effect, you're not supposed to go out, unless it's necessity. Go for groceries, go for gas, go for medical, go for, you work for the government, these types of things. And so we are, what we're going to do though is this. Now, Wednesday night is coming on us real quickly, and I had to try to make some kind of decision what we're going to do. Now, this thing goes into effect, it's, I believe, 6 o'clock tomorrow, Tuesday. I just feel very impressed that we need to try our best to just show that we're adhering. Now, the truth is, a Wednesday night is a wonderful night for Bible study. And it's a wonderful night to set aside midweek prayer. And, around 1900 is when this came into effect. The Wednesday night came into effect. In really sort of the middle of the century when it became to be a Bible study. Initially it was just a prayer time for people to gather together and sometime throughout the day on Wednesday and gather together and pray. Now, because of that, because this is not like Sunday to me. Sunday's a completely different issue to me. But the fact is that Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, is such a short time to it. What I'm going to do is I want us to do online for Wednesday, I'll do the we've been saying we're going to have 5:30 service, but what I'm going to do is that at 7 o'clock I'm going to teach the lesson. It'll be live, and it'll be a live lesson there, and I'll teach that lesson. Now, here's what I'm going to do though. I know some of you saying, "Oh, I really want to be there." Now, what I'm going to do is between 5 and 7, my wife will be at the and I will be at the church. If your wife, you want to come by, or you alone, if you're alone, if you want to come by between 5 and let's say 5 and 6:30, we'll go 5 and 6:30. We'll come there, and if you want to come in and just have some time to pray. Maybe you want to go to the altar. Maybe you want to go to where you normally sit and just pray for a few minutes. And now, truth is, if we get to a point where we're going to have more than 10 coming in there, then we'll have to limit you and ask you to wait in your car or something until somebody else comes out, because we're not going to violate that. I mean, and the truth is, I think there's some very important things that some very wise people have said for the health. Nobody is saying they're shutting down churches. They're just saying that for health reasons, we need to be 6 feet apart, and we need to wash our hands regularly and often, and we need to not be in groups of more than 10 people. We need not congregate more than 10 people. So we're going to try to do our best. Now, I want us to do right. Keep our distance. Do just what they're asking. But if you want to come in, my wife and I will be there. We're going to be having prayer time. And if you want us to pray with you, so to speak, we'll be in a distance. But if you want to come in, you come in and you have prayer time between 5:30 and 6:30. At 7, I'll do the lesson. It's not going to be really open to folks. I'm not trying to encourage anybody to come to the lesson. You can come and pray. You can go home. You can watch the lesson. You can sit out in your car and on the live stream and watch the lesson if you'd like to. But I think that's the best for Wednesday. Now, things could change before Sunday. Everything keeps changing. But as it stands right now, this is the plan that I believe that I'm supposed to head toward. And what I'm planning on doing, and it's going to take a lot of phone calling, but I want to make sure that not only do we adhere to what's being asked as closely as we can, without violating. We before we gathered together and we divided up, and I say again divided. It sounds we came and we separated people out as they came in into different rooms, and they could watch the live stream. A few were in the auditorium. This time, the way I think it'll be much better is if I'm gonna set times. I'm on at my very first service at 9 o'clock. I'm going to preach. It's going to be a relatively short service. Honestly, we may have a song or two, and then we're going to go right into a service or preaching, and I'll get done with preaching, and so the first one will be at 9. The second one will be at 9:45. The third one will be at 10:30. The fourth one will be at 11:15. The fifth one will be at 12 o'clock. Now, by doing this, what we're going to do is but from 9 to 9:30, 9:35, something like that, that first group comes in and it's 10. And I'll teach, I'll preach, I'll get done with that. I'm going to ask them to go to their cars. We love you. God bless you. We can't shake hands. We can't hug. We can't do anything. You got to go to your cars. It's been good to see you, that kind of thing. They go to the cars. The next group, I'm going to ask you to sit in your car until I go out and let you know, okay, now it's time to come in. We'll go in. We'll start at 9:45. At 9:45, we'll take a few minutes where I'll do some things. We may sing a song or two. But then what we're going to do is that the lesson that I taught first, then you'll all sit there and listen to that sermon that I preached, and so and we'll go through that same scenario all the way through the rest of the day. Now I'm going to have to call people and let them know what time, and you say, well, can't we just do it by letters or this or that? I wish we could, except that in order to have 10, I've been working on this thing for a couple of hours to try to find out people and who's coming, and we've made some texts and things, and so I'm trying to get 10 in each one of those areas. And so this will help us because, as you know, the order that the mayor has put down affects the people who live in Memphis. And so only those who live in Memphis are ordered to stay in. And unless it's a necessity. Well, for us, it's a necessity. And also you can go out to get food. And guess what? We have a food bank. So if some of you need to come Sunday morning to get some food, we can help you out. And so you come on in for that, and we'll take care of it. But we want that 10 to leave, so everybody will understand we're only having a little group of 10. We're not getting a mass group that we're dividing. We're getting a group of 10, and we're just going to do that. And honestly, if we end up with more than 10 at any given segment here, then somebody will have to have some that'll go to another room, but we're trying to avoid even doing that. And so that's kind of where we are. And I've taken, again, a long time. I've been trying to shorten these down, but I haven't been able to do it. But keep praying. Things may change again, but that's the scenario that we're in right now. Call me. I'll be calling you to make sure to let you know. But if you can come to church, call me. If you were one that were there Sunday or Wednesday, and you say, you would think I'm sure you'd think I'm going to be there, but for this reason I can't be. Call me, text me, let me know anything that you can. We sure do love you. Still reach out to all of our sick and shut-ins, reach out to our elderly, anybody that might hear this. If you need something, let us know. We're doing our best to stay in contact with everybody, encourage everybody. I know a lot of people are lonely right now, and it may get more lonely before it gets better. And so just keep praying. God's in control. Don't forget that. God is always in the control. He's got our path already lined out. He's ordered our steps, and so we know he's in control. He's our shepherd, so we shall not want. We're okay. God bless you.